Hi, second grade students and families. This is Miss England. Today I am here to teach a math lesson about solving addition and subtraction word problems. Let's take a minute and read our lesson objective together. Ready, begin. I can solve addition and subtraction word problems. This is something that we've practiced quite a bit throughout the year, but we're going to practice today with some larger 2- and 3-digit numbers. When we're solving word problems, we use the RDW process. RDW stands for read, draw, write. I'm going to go through the steps together. Step 1, read the problem. It's important to read the problem 3 times and underline important information. Step 2, think. Think about what is the problem asking and what strategies can I use to solve it. Step 3, write a sentence frame. You're going to answer the question using a sentence frame and putting a blank where the number that will be your answer will go. Our second sentence in our sentence frame is always, I know this because blank. Step 4 is draw a model. The model that most of you will use for these problems will be base 10 blocks. Step 5, write an equation. You're either going to have an addition or a subtraction equation. Step 6, write a statement. In step 6, all you have to do is complete the sentence frame. So you're completing the blanks that you wrote in step 3. And last, step 7, check your answer. Does my answer make sense? Before you finish, make sure that you know that your answer makes sense. Throughout the year, we've talked a lot about some different types of addition and subtraction word problems. They're also called addition and subtraction situations. The first one that we started out were the easiest ones, were result unknown. You're adding 2 numbers together and solving for the result, or you're subtracting 2 numbers and solving for the result. We also practiced problems that were called change unknown. We started with a number and our other part was unknown. So we started with 3 pineapples plus some equals 5 pineapples. Change unknown can also be used in subtraction. Started with 4 grapes, take away some, and that equals 1 grape. So you have to solve and find the change. The other type of problem we studied this year were called compare problems, when you're comparing 2 different things. These are some examples of some problems we did earlier this fall in those 3 types. This again is the easiest type of result unknown. Josiah cut 6 slices of pizza for his friends. 3 slices were eaten. How many pizza slices were left? All we need to do is subtract the 2 numbers, 6 minus 3, to get our result, which equals 3 pizza slices. This is an example of a compare problem that we did earlier this year. Martin had 12 markers. Amari had 5 markers. How many more markers did Martin have than Amari? We are comparing the amount of markers that Martin and Amari have. We want to know how many more did Martin have. To solve this, we're going to subtract 12, which is how many markers Martin has, minus 5, how many Amari has, and we find out Martin has 7 more markers than Amari. This is an example of a change unknown problem we did earlier this year. 17 students were in the library. Mrs. Price sent some students to run an errand. 11 students remained in the library. How many students went on the errand? So what is unknown is how many students Mrs. Price sent to run the errand. It says some, so that's how the number that we have to solve. So in order to do this, we're going to subtract 17 minus 11, and we find out that there were 6 students sent to run the errand. I'm going to go through 2 problems. These problems are in the pages in your week 4 packet. So if you'd like to get out your week 4 packet right now, pause the video and you can do it along with me. So I'm going to start with step 1, read the problem. I know I need to read it 3 times and underline important information. At recess, Diane skipped rope 95 times without stopping. Peter skipped rope 37 times without stopping. How many more times did Diane skip rope than Peter? Read it again. At recess, Diane skipped rope 95 times without stopping. Peter skipped rope 37 times without stopping. How many more times did Diane skip rope than Peter? Already, I'm noticing that this is a compare problem. They want to know how many more times Diane skipped than Peter. Now I'm going to read the third time and underline my important information. I have it highlighted on the screen. At recess, Diane skipped rope 95 times without stopping. Peter skipped rope 37 times without stopping. How many more times did Diane skip rope than Peter? So again, we are comparing the two, Diane and Peter. What we don't know, what's unknown, is the difference. How many more times Diane skipped rope than Peter? Now I'm going to think. I know this problem is asking for me to find the difference, so I'm going to need to subtract as my strategy, and I'm going to find how many more times Diane skipped rope than Peter. Now I'm moving on to my step 3, write a sentence frame. I'm looking back at the question, how many more times did Diane skip rope than Peter? To write that in a sentence frame, Diane skipped rope blank more times than Peter. I don't know how many times yet, so I'm going to put the blank. And our second sentence is always, I know this because blank. Step 4 is draw a model. I used base 10 blocks. So first, I drew 95 in base 10 blocks, 9 10s, 5 1s. And then I crossed out 37 to take away 37. However, when I tried to cross out 7 1s, I didn't have enough. So I needed to borrow and regroup one of the 10s. So I'm left with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58. Now I'm going to draw or write my equation, step 5. I'm going to use the standard algorithm, writing the numbers vertically up and down. 5 minus 7, I already noticed in my picture that I do not have enough and I need to regroup. So I borrowed a 10. Now I have 15 ones. 15 minus 7 is 8. And back to the tens place, 8 minus 3 is 5. Now I'm on to step 6, write a statement and complete my sentence frame. So I filled in my numbers in the blanks. Diane skipped rope 58 more times than Peter. I know this because 95 minus 37 equals 58. So I used my equation as my proof in my I know this because sentence. Now, I can't forget about step 7. Does my solution make sense? I know that 58 is smaller than 95, so that makes sense that would be how many more. I can also add 37 plus 58, and when I do that, I get 95. So I've checked my answer, and I believe my solution does make sense. We're going to go through one more problem. This is also in your week 4 packet. Step 1, read the problem 3 times and underline important information. 399 jars of baby food are sitting on the shelf at the market. Some jars fall off and break. 243 jars are still on the shelf. How many jars broke? Already I'm realizing this is a change unknown problem. We know at the beginning there's 399 jars of baby food. Then some, we don't know how many, fall off and break. And what's left is 243 jars. I'm going to read it again and underline my important information. 399 jars of baby food are sitting on the shelf at the market. Some jars fall off and break. 243 jars are still on the shelf. How many jars broke? I'm thinking, I know that this is a change unknown. I'm going to use subtraction as my strategy to find out what that change was. For my sentence frame, I'm going to read the question one more time. How many jars broke? Blank jars broke. I know this because blank. Now I'm moving on to step 4, draw a model. Again, I used base 10 blocks. I drew 399 in base 10 blocks and took away or crossed out 243. For my equation, step 5, I also used the standard algorithm. I drew my subtraction equation vertically, and I could start in the ones place. 9 minus 3 equals 6. 9 minus 4 equals 5. 3 minus 2 equals 1. Then I'm on step 6, write a statement. So I'm filling in the blanks that I had in my sentence frame. 156 jars broke. I know this because, again, I go back to my equation, 399 minus 243 equals 156. Before I finish, I need to check my answer. I can check my answer again by adding 156 plus 243. If I do that, I get 399. So there were 399 jars on the shelf, 156 fell off and broke, and then 243 jars were still on the shelf. Now it's time for some practice. So to share your learning and to practice more this week, complete the problems in your week 4 packet. Your week 4 packet looks like this. You can also create your own word problems using items from your house. Another great way to practice would be telling someone at home how to use the RDW process. As always, send pictures or videos of your learning to your teachers. We would love to hear from you. Thank you.